when you start speedrunning this game, you're gonna become painfully aware that Ridley has two different patterns. There's a good one with the long fireballs where you can just roll under the balls and fire away, which makes the fights very quick and very free. He also has this pattern where he throws short fireballs instead. And your best bet is to freeze the fireballs like this, stand on top of them, fire away. The fireballs are going to thaw and you're going to have to do it one more time. It's harder and at best it's going to be a big time loss. If you're going to speedrun this game, you want to make sure you're on the good pattern all of the time. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to get there about 99% of the time. To get the good pattern, we're going to have to learn about global patterns. This is a simplified chart of the patterns. It is a little bit more complicated than this, but for the sake of killing Ridley, this is all you need to know. Now, global patterns are tied to your setup, your console or your emulator. Some consoles will give you pattern A every time you start it up, and I mean a proper power on. And some consoles will give you pattern B from a power on. Because, you know, black magic and electronics. And it's the same with emulators, though in my experience, almost all emulators will give you pattern B. I think there's a way to edit your emulator settings to swap your startup patterns. But I don't know how to do it. So yeah, you might want to investigate that. And also, if you're running on console, a flash card will almost always give you opposite patterns of a game card for some reason. Not always, but most of the time. I think I've asked about 8 or 9 people and I've found one person who gets the same pattern. Now, if you have a console or emulator that gives you the good pattern on startup, you're mostly golden. The only thing you have to think about is to reset the game by powering the console off and on again. I would wait a second for good measure before you power it back on. And that's how you reset the game every time. Don't use the reset button. Now, there are ways to swap patterns if you're on the bad pattern. Every time you hit the reset button, it swaps from A to B or from B to A. Every time you die, it swaps. And this includes using the built-in function of the game where you pause the game on controller 1 and you press up and A on controller B to force a death. This will swap the patterns. Now, the bad thing is that swapping the patterns will work about 90 to 95% of the time. It has a certain fail rate, but it's going to work most of the time. Now, if you are on a console or an emulator that gives you pattern B on startup, there are a couple of things you can do. I'm going to show you how. The first thing you can try is to power cycle the console to reset the game and then hit reset once. It's very likely going to swap patterns and you can just start from there and do your run. Or you can start up the game and as soon as the game is started, you up A to force the death. And then you start your timer when you press start on the password screen. So this is basically your startup screen. You start your timer when you're pressing start right here. And this is a legal way to start your run, just to make the game more accessible. So you've done that, and you're going to kill Ridley. Now, since this swap has a certain fail rates, There are things you can do to swap your pattern once more during the run, and I'm going to show you how. You're in Norfair, you're entering the cloud room right here, and a couple of screens ahead you're going to meet this jellyfish right here. Now this jellyfish does low or medium or high jumps, and that correlates with Ridley's long or short fireballs. So if you see the jellyfish do short hops, short jumps like that, or medium jumps like that, this confirms that you're on the good global pattern, pattern A. If you go to Ridley right now and you don't die on the way, you're gonna get long fireballs, guaranteed. Now, if you see the jellyfish do really tall jumps like this one, it actually touches the ceiling. This tells you that you're on the wrong pattern. If you go straight to Ridley now, you're gonna get the short fireballs, and the fight's gonna be harder. Now, there is something you can do here if you don't want to reset. You just take note and you keep moving until you get to the elevator to Ridley's lair. Now you're gonna have to do an up A to swap the pattern back, and the most time efficient place to do it is during this elevator sequence right here. As you know, when you die, the game takes you back to the beginning of the area. So if you up A, as soon as the elevator changes color like this, at this point you're in Ridley's lair, and if you up A here, you're gonna start off at the bottom of the elevator. This saves you back some time. You still lose time because of this startup animation right here, but this is the smallest time loss you can get. I think it's about 3 or 4 seconds. So if you don't care about those 3 or 4 seconds and you just want to continue the run, this is one way to do it. Now, when you've tried to swap the pattern twice, chances that you're on the chance that you're on the wrong pattern still is really, really small. Like it's a tenth on top of a tenth. If you're going this way because you have bombs and you want to pick up the E-tank, you're gonna come across some hoppers on your way. It's the purple and pink ones. If you see them do low hops, it tells you that you're gonna get the good pattern with the long fireballs because you're on pattern A. If you see them do really high hops, you're on the wrong pattern. You're really unlucky, and at that point, I would just reset the game. But 99% of the time, you're gonna get there with these techniques. So yeah, I hope that's useful for you. Good luck running the game. See ya.